Yes, graduates, welcome to Hard Talk Podcast with HTK. Fasten your seatbelts. Hey, users and subscribers, welcome back to another edition of Hard Talk with HTK. Listen, this one is about the whole confusion around Hayley Comet and this woman who claims that she is a relative of the Younge family. You know, I have seen certain kind of comments even under my videos that Jamaicans must stay out. We have we own a problem. Stop talk about Adriana. We are look money, this, that, and the other. Every work that is done out here is deserving of just reward once it is for the benefit of the family and to push for justice for Adriana. Platform holders have a right to speak about it because when it comes to the diaspora is not exclusive to Guyana alone. The diaspora of the Caribbean includes all of us who live in the region, and all of us who live in the region have a right to speak on the matter. If this situation happened in Jamaica, we would want Guyanese, Trinidadians, Bajans, and the rest to be making a noise about it, especially if justice is not being served. Some people are hell-bent on division between our brothers and sisters. And these people are the parasites of our diaspora, the ones who wish to take advantage for personal gain. It is clear to me that there seems to be a notion that Hayley Comet, because she's white, because she's English, is being excluded, saying that she shouldn't speak. Okay, she may not be from the diaspora, but she definitely is representing on behalf of the Younge family. And it is wonderful when these kind of subjects cross over nationalities, races, and regions, so that the voices can be raised to a higher vibration. And the appropriate powers that be hear what is going on. You cannot have this nuclear mind that everything that happens within a territory must only be discussed within a territory. Because you, same one, would be clamoring for international intervention if there was a crisis in your nation. The case of Adriana is not an opportunity for infighting. It's not an opportunity to start a race war or a territory war. No, you are bringing divisions and factions into the movement for justice for the child. I want you to listen to what this individual has to say with regards to Hayley Comet's involvement in the case. But what you may have missed was Hayley Comet's comeback to this lady. She has made it clear that this lady is indeed a scammer who is trying to pass herself off as a family member to the Younges. She has also given evidence to show that this individual cannot be trusted. Let's watch.
This message is for Miss Hayley Comet. Okay? I want you to look at this picture right here, long and hard. All right? And I'm going to tell you why. That is what a grieving parent and a sibling look like. Something that you would never know. Something that you would never experience. Okay? For you to come out from nowhere and interject yourself in somebody else's business that you have no affiliation with. You're not from Guyana. You're not affiliated with anybody from Guyana, but you interject yourself in this one. You need to remove yourself from this situation and mind your own business. A lot of people is reaching out to me and telling me what a scammer you are in the UK. Okay? You need to work on that and leave us alone. When this is all over and done, Hayley Comet, I am going to make sure that the family of Adriana, the grandmother, the mother, the father, open a lawsuit on you for defamation. Defamation is something that you should really consider before you open your mouth and putting or allegedly claiming the family of wrongdoings. You do not put people in position like this, because everything that you do has a repercussion. And I want you to remember this, okay? This is a grieving family, and I'm asking you nicely to leave this family alone. Mind your business. You got a lot of business in the UK to mind, not in Guyana.
So Hayley came with a comeback to this Angela person who claims that she's a relative of the Younge's family. She took to her live last night and she gave Angela a proper dressing down for spreading a hate campaign against her. I want you to take a listen to what Hayley had to say. We're going to break it down bit by bit, and then we're going to take it from there.
Justice for Adriana. That's why you've had guests like Kevin on your live. That's why you've got Angela, who's already scammed the family. I look at things quite clearly and can quite clearly see that she's being paid off by someone. Why would you put in 8 to 10 hours days with a mission unless there was something at the end of that mission? Now, she's not getting gifted on TikTok. She's not got her followers to the Creator Fund. You're making money somewhere. And because she has a background in Guyana, I'm even more tending to believe that her family have got PPP stickers in the window. And I don't give a fuck. Guyana doesn't claim her as much as they claim me, let's be honest at this point. You know, the amount of people who I have in my room from Guyana who message me every day and say thank you for what you're doing for Guyana and all of those things. The family who are so thankful for me, the legal team, like at this point, I'm more from Guyana. Because, and I say that because people are accepting, I'm accepting of them, they're in here, we all want justice for Adriana, and anyone who's truly got any part of them from Guyana, especially if you're living in the UK and you've got the freedom to talk, you should be shouting justice for Adriana all day long. You should be using your live to talk about the facts of the case instead of talking shit about me. Instead, you're using it to try and take down the one person from the UK who's being taken seriously in the Adriana case, who has a lot of weight in the case right now, because me and people like one Kevin even have got a lot of people listening, and now other people are invested and backing Guyana. So if you loved Guyana as a country, or you loved Adriana, or you want goodness for the country, you're going to be looking at people like me and being like, oh, hats off to her putting all this time in. People are now respecting my country and want justice for the children there. Instead, you're doing the opposite. And I read people like that and I'm like, fuck that.
I completely agree with Hayley here that you would think that this would be an opportunity to say thank you to anyone who's getting involved. There seems to be a notion from some of the people that Hayley is interfering, that her involvement is in fact causing more confusion than good. This is not the majority. This is a minority of the population and of the diaspora of Guyana. And it is a shame that it's being looked at this way, because a lot of the things that Hayley has said to me sounds like logic and fact. I have not seen any situation where it could have led to a disruption in the investigation. And the mere fact that she is being fully endorsed by the family should tell other people to back off of Hayley, because they are in agreement with her approach and they are, facilitating her support and her advocacy in this case. Now, Hayley did comment and say she's the only person in the UK being taken seriously. Hayley, I don't think you're aware, but there are several bloggers who are talking about this, who are from the UK, who are also taken seriously. Case in point, myself. But you just may not be aware of us because we are small, or we are just not necessarily in the limelight, and we're not in any conflict with any of the other platforms. So just to be careful there, to acknowledge the fact that there are several others that you just may not be aware of. In addition to that, Hayley raised a significant point about the fact that this individual is facilitating conversations with people who are anti the movement. And that in itself should show that, listen, something's not quite right with this individual. She continues to talk about the fact that there is some possibility of this person being paid somehow, somewhere. Let's keep listening.
That Angela said you should be doing that. Angela has put up a GoFundMe for 50k for legal costs for the family when the family's lawyers are pro bono. She's called London Star. That's not her real name. I know her real name, and that's not it. I'll be curious. I love that, Tanya. I think everyone should probably go to a local church or just light a candle at home or go to the spiritual church, whatever you believe in, on the day of Adriana's funeral, because we can't all be there. Who's Angie? Angie is Sir Brian's cousin, if you mean Angie, the family member. And, Angela, she's taking me to court. I can't wait to go to court. I handed all the information to the lawyers today and the family about the GoFundMe that she made, with proof in her own writing saying that she'd created a GoFundMe, so I imagine they might be taking her to court. What can she take me to court for? Let's Talk These Things has been calling Angela out quite heavily because he sees who she is, and he has played quite a lot of her content, and he's just like, oh, Angela. She can't spell her own name. She's added an extra N in. She is... I put up a video showing our messages because she was right up my arse. I went into her live one day, just stumbled into it, and she's all like, Hayley, Comet, thank you for the work you're doing for Adriana. I love the work you do. I'm your biggest fan. She started telling me about her brothers who she thought had been murdered in Guyana. Please cover this case in Guyana, cover this case in Guyana. Absolutely loved me. Then I heard her allowing people on her live to slate me. So she then invited me as a guest into her live for a guest request in my messages. And I replied saying, I'm not going to come back in your live because you've allowed people to come in there and threaten me and say horrific things about me. And she was like, just know that I believe in you and I believe in your work and all this. And the messages are up on my page. And then the next day she started a hate live about me because I wasn't going to get her viewers anymore because I wasn't going to come in her live.
So basically, you can hear what Hayley's saying here, that this Angela is different from the relative of the Younges, who goes by the name Angie. She's also an Angela, but spelled with one N. And they call her, Hayley's referring to her as Angie. Now, this Angela spells her name Annngela, hence the joke that she doesn't know how to spell her own name, has allegedly set up a GoFundMe. And this GoFundMe was supposed to be about raising funds towards the legal costs of the Younge family. The Younge family, however, has made it clear through Hayley that their lawyer is in fact pro bono. So there was no need for any funds to be raised for legal fees as yet. Interesting. I'm going to show, or rather insert in the middle of this live, Hayley's recent video where she shows the evidence of the GoFundMe that was established by Angela. And she's alleging that this was an unrequired situation. It was not solicited by the family. They don't know her. And she did that off of her own back. Now, as to whether or not she has received funds, I am not aware of this. But Hayley is implying that these funds were being raised for her own benefit. Take a listen to this clip.
One thing I find really strange is that people are running hate lives on me for covering Adriana's case with my gifts on, which I've helped the family significantly with money that I've made from gifts. But you're running hate lives with gifts on, and you're actually sat in a live discussing me and my money-making situation with a woman who actually made a GoFundMe for $50,000 named Angela. She made the GoFundMe for Adriana's parents, who have never seen any money from her. I don't know who donated to it. She's tried to hide it since. But let's look at it, shall we? This was her post asking for help for family expenses and legal fees for $50,000. And when she was asked about it, these were her comments. When someone asked her, do you really think you should start a GoFundMe without the family's knowledge? She said, not really, but people of kind heart always do kind things. Asked them if one time in the US if they ever send a dime. That's funny to me, though. It was because somebody said respectfully I should get the blessings from the family before you make a GoFundMe. What happened to the money you collected? I never heard about you giving it to the family. The family never acknowledged you on the media. Why are you bothered about Hayley? All you do is create diversions and hatred about racism. True. And Angela said, I'm going to block you for asking about when the money went. I would really suggest, if you're going to run hate lives about me for 20 hours a day, that you at least do your research into the guests you have on talking shit. Because Angela is a scammer who tried to raise $50,000 and has never once spoken to Amicia or Sir Brian about this money that she was asking for.
So this is yet another platform holder who is basically turning on Hayley after Hayley refuses to do a live with her, after she observes the kind of people that she has on her platform who she's entertaining, speaking to the PPP, speaking to Kevon, anybody who is, as I said, anti the family, including Angela, right? So, she's breaking it down for us here. But what I'm picking up on is the fact that they're trying to basically throw Hayley off the scent. They're giving her all kinds of other distractions, making her seem as though she cannot be credible, because you're sending somebody who deals with hardcore facts to go and look into superstitions. You're telling her to go and investigate and interview people who are making comments on the case on the basis of, for want of a better word, or phrase, black magic. That is just nonsense. This is not her area of expertise. She deals with hardcore facts. And that to me shows that they're trying to throw her off, because Hayley is hitting nails on the head far too much. They're feeling uncomfortable. And this is why we need to be vigilant when it comes to these distractions with the movement. These people are sent to derail the unity of the people. They're sent to distract you from actually focusing on the evidence that's in front of your face, and therefore to throw doubt in the minds of the Guyanese people and the people across the world.
Is she justice or something? Nah, she's just a liar. If she was a justice, why hasn't she got her own brother's justice? Like, why would you need someone like me to cover your case? Like, you're just making it up. She talks a lot of drivel. She allows the most weirdest people onto her live. So, no, I mean, her name is something like Go Outside, Explore Outside. She is Snap Ministry. Is she? That makes sense. So she's using another account to do a spiteful work on, fucking loser. That's the kind of person. She's just strange, like a really strange woman. She allows people into her box who are like channeling Adriana, like going, she's in my body. She allows people from the PPP, she allows mad people in, because she's one of those people that are like, I'm going to go live and I've got nothing to say. So I'm just going to get loads of people in my life to fill the space for me, and it doesn't really matter what they're saying. She had one man tell me a story about how he'd met Sir Brian working on the buses years ago, about 10 years ago, and she was going, listen to his story. And I was like, huh? And he goes, I met Sir Brian on the buses 10 years ago when he was working on the buses, which I don't think he was 10 years ago. And the man said to Sir Brian, weirdly, 10 years ago, never take your children to the double-date hotel. I'm like, okay, yeah, that happened. And she's like, it did, because he realised Sir Brian was of childbearing age. I'm like, fucking childbearing age? Fucking judgy Peter. I replaced prick with Peter then, because I didn't want to swear. So I got that anyway. But what kind of story is that? Like, he got onto Sir Brian's bus and said, hey, young man, oh, you're of childbearing age. Never take your children to the double-day hotel. And she believed it. She's like, you should speak to this man. I was like, okay, he's got a God complex.
So hold up. What kind of madness is this? Is this what's going on? First of all, this is a complete lack of empathy. How can you be channeling a dead child's spirit at this crucial time when people are trying to get to the bottom of this case? In addition to that, you're coming out here to defend Stefan, the uncle whose behavior was questionable. And I do have a piece coming on Stefan, but I will hold it for now, because I recall when they were blocking the road, how Stefan very quickly and neatly made sure that he had his car out of the way so that he could make an exit as quickly as possible. Oh yes, he did that. Rather than be with the family, he was making sure that he could leave the premises anytime he needed to leave. So he was not about to get caught by that roadblock, just in case any fingers started pointing. But we'll leave it at that for now. All I'll say is that it is clear to me that Hayley is too close to the family, getting insight that some of these platform holders wish they could have. And she is being backed by the parents of the deceased child. Now, once she has that authority, I do not believe we are in a position, as those of us on the outside who are not connected to the family, who are not the parents, to actually condemn her actions. It needs to come from Sir Brian and the mother of the little girl. If they condemn her, then at that point, all gloves are off, because they have said, listen, no, thank you. But in this case, that's not what we're seeing. Now, there's lots of questions around Hayley and the money that she raised and whether or not it went to the family, etc. She's made it clear herself and her Comets, that's what she calls her followers, have submitted that money to the family. And you know, for whatever it was used for, they actually came out and publicly thanked Hayley and even asked the people of Guyana to leave Hayley alone because they are fully in agreement with the actions that she's taken and the investigation that she is doing independently. They do not have a problem with it. Now, subsequently, Hayley did come out with another video that I would like to show you. But first, before we get into that, of course, you know, Madame Angela had something to say where she's threatening Hayley with legal repercussions, claiming that Hayley has put out her picture and she's coming for her legally, etc., etc. Listen to Angela and what she's saying, but what I find interesting... Anyway, let me shut up.
Hey, Hayley. So, this is me responding to your little video that I didn't know that you post a little minute ago about me and some GoFundMe money. Okay? So now that you want to play with me and you want to put my name and put pictures out there and making these claims, I'm going to do you the honor. I am going to open a suit on you, and I'm going to bring all my receipts that I received $0 and 0 cents. Let's make that clear, $0 and 0 cents. And when I'm done doing that, I'm going to take the lawsuit money that I'm going to file against you for defamation, and I'm going to give it to the Younge's family as a gift. And I'm going to make a video so you can see that I'm handing the money over to them and they're going to enjoy it. Let's focus on getting Adriana Younge's justice. The family, Adriana Younge, the beautiful Adriana Younge, and all the people worldwide. I don't know if I should include you in this because you have one goal. Your goal is money and defaming and spreading rumors about grieving families. So I'm going to exclude you out of this for that simple reason, because it's evident the world is watching. They know. But however, let's focus. Even if you have to pretend to focus, can you do that?
So utterly disrespectful. And I'll tell you why I think this is disrespectful. Hayley has never hidden the fact that she has ADHD. And for those of you who are unaware of what ADHD is about, this is about an attention deficit disorder where she may come across as hyperactive. She may struggle to focus on specific things. She will ramble sometimes when she's talking, meaning she'll jump from one point to the other quite rapidly. However, one thing I know about ADHD people is that when they lock onto something, they are hyper focused. In other words, they go to the extreme. They notice every single detail and they will obsess on it until they get everything that is needed in terms of information from that subject. This is what makes Hayley Comet particularly good at discussing crime. She does not miss a beat nor any detail. Now, interestingly, what I noticed about this lady, Angela, with the two N's, is that she is defending the uncle. It seemed to all be about the uncle, which kind of makes me wonder who sent her out here to target Hayley Comet. And why it is that she's so hell-bent on making Hayley appear to be a scammer. Now, she's claiming she's going to take legal action against Hayley. That won't happen. For one thing, if she is trying to go after Hayley for saying that she took GoFundMe money, for one thing, Hayley never said that. She said, "Where has this money gone? There is no evidence of you handing the funds over to the family." She never once said that you siphoned the funds. She said that you misrepresented the family and gave the impression as though the GoFundMe was done with their thumbs up, their approval, which was not the case. All of this Hayley would have her evidence and receipts of. She never once said you took the GoFundMe money and pocketed it. She's saying there's no evidence of this money being handed over to the family. And she said the family did not approve of you doing this GoFundMe. Your name is on the GoFundMe, so you are the one who set that up. How dare you step out of line like that to do something on behalf of the family that you were not asked to do? So Hayley has every right to say that. There is no legal grounds here. So you are just blowing hot air. Lady, you're just a chat. No action on the back of that.
We found phone. I thought, oh, that's where your psychic reading came from. You actually went to the hotel with your friend Stefan, and now you're trying to act like he's innocent. It's just all mad. In every big case that you get, like the Jay Slaters, the Adriana, the big cases, you always get a whole host of fucking nut jobs fall out of the wardrobe. It's impossible. Like, you always get the people that kind of knew the victim that really didn't, that have an opinion that really shouldn't, that try to show brain power and they really don't. It was a great slip up. I was listening to her like, now it makes sense. She was like, Stefan's calling me always because he's really upset what you're doing. I'm like, so did Stefan say it or did Adriana say it? That's all I'm interested in. Did Adriana come through and tell you she's mad about me? Or did Stefan phone you and tell you that he's scared of me? Which one is it? Because once we get to the bottom of that, we realise you're all fucking fakes and you're all working against justice for Adriana. It's mad. Right, guys, it's 12:30, so I'm going to get off and go to sleep. I've got sports day tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I'll probably come on live before that in the daytime. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Her phone kept ringing. It was Stefan, wasn't it? I was going to answer the phone to Stefan. Her phone was ringing and ringing. She had one of those really like old lady ringtones. She was like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And she's like hanging it up. And I'm like, answer your phone, it's Stefan. She's like, it's not. It's the oil from fucking Venezuela. I thought like, oh, I'm going really mad now. Right. Good night, guys. And remember, don't get your oil from Venezuela. Love you.
Now, do we remember that in our last video, we spoke about Jennifer Alley and the dreadful commentary she was making against Adriana and against the family? Well, Jennifer has not held back. She has continued with her tirade against the Younges. And, you know, you have to wonder what is wrong with this lady and why her mentality is this way and how she lacks empathy when it comes to the loss of a life of a young child. She made these statements on her Facebook page, which were shocking to me, my people. Very, very shocking that she could be so brazen. This is harassment of the highest order. But, you know, we have to have some mercy upon Jennifer, you know, because Jennifer not too right. Jennifer is a chronic alcoholic. Yeah, she have problems with substance abuse. Because this evidence here that I am going to show you is allegedly of Jennifer, who was involved in a drunk driving incident. Take a look at this video.
So you got a drunk driver here, right? And as a result of she disrespectful behavior, the police got to come out in the numbers just for try to contain she, right? So she was driving, the police got she in the vehicle. She was driving this vehicle under the influence, drunk out your mind, right? The bus is PW 543. Now look at the amount of police got come out here for contain she, right? And she behavior is nothing less than unsavory, right? Because now the police got to get a crash truck for move. She can't drive. She drunk out your mind. What you doing? They drunk out your mind, cussing and everything else, right? And driving this bus. It said that you run somebody off the road and also run a truck off the road. Now, it's a case whereas there's no fatality and no major accident. But nah man, eh? It look like what ass is this? Oh my mama. You alone went in the bus girl with the baby there. She ain't talking now, just so she cussing and talking. But she know where the camera is though. When I sit down just now, for going to sit down and eat my soup, and I'm thinking about it, the fact that we highlight so much of things from the road, and then there's so much unscrupulous behavior, right, with these people, because she could have knocked down somebody. This here is a busy community. You got people, children, you got people with motorbike car kind of thing. This is a busy community here. Now, one the other problem, look at the amount of police now. These people could be doing things worthwhile. The police could be doing job worthwhile. Right? Dealing with other issues. Obviously, people got concerns. The Sunday morning, people wake up with a hangover. Somebody thief, somebody foul. We got other things to do. Right? No, they ain't calling nobody. I going down to Covanjan myself there just now. So you got a female rank with her. Right? And this girl drunk out your mind. This we're going. Well, this is I don't know if she's the owner of the bus, but I know the police. She's been behaving miserable with the police. Now the police seem like they can take their vehicle and go and pull the vehicle and carry it to the station. They got a little baby hat in there with mud on it. I don't know what the circumstances. I don't know what the circumstances around this whole arrest and everything. Obviously, the police, after this video is published, the police will have to issue some sort of a statement explaining who this individual is. And I'm telling you, she ain't gonna get the breathalyzer there in the car there. She ain't gonna get no test. She drunk out your mind. You understand? Female East Indian girl, drunk out your mind. This here says Haslington area. I don't know how she ended up through here. She passing through, but the police said they were following and they cornered her down here. Then just now I realized the police they here more than an hour. A lengthy period of time trying to get she out the bus. Before they get she out the bus, she pull out some wire in the bus, so now the bus can't drive for go to the station. Right? The bus can't go to the station. A lot of citizens come out here, the police worry about left in the bus. I said nobody not gonna take nobody thing in Haslington, so they not worry about that. Because this is an area where is their truth. Why I'm highlighting this, right? Is because this is the thing we're talking about every day, buddy. Every day. Imagine she drunk out your mind. Stone out your mind. You got set a little picnic, all people is walking up on this road, old people is walking up this road. This road done fine, watch. This road done fine. If she knocked down somebody, what she telling the people them? Now it's Sunday morning. What she could be going through, what life she living. Obviously a mother, young girl. What life she living for drunk. Whoa, what's the time? The time is minutes to 10 in the morning. Right? Now the police them got for that a care she vehicle to the station. Police got better jobs to do, man.
Let somebody else come in there. Why should we wait, all.
Now, police got better things to do. And they got she in here. Yeah, girl, where the baby there? The police got a breathalyzer kit inside there too. And this is Traffic Patrol Region Division 4C. So this is Covanjan. Young girl, drunk out your mind. PWW 543. And she know what she doing. How? When I video she ain't talking. And when the police talking, she cussing up the police. How she know what she doing? Very well know what she doing. And she got kids riding through here on the bicycle. This is the kind of disrespect. And I hope the police see. That's why I'm recording this whole thing for the police see. You get somebody driving through, they look like they got money. You understand? They look like they got money. They everything police willing for do an effort, they willing for make facade them out. If it's a Harry on a motorbike, he dip on his back, he dip on his face, man, dip on his neck. You understand? No, everybody got dealt with equally. I like how we're doing. I like how this doing, yes. They're playing the part and whatever. But everybody got to be dealt with equally.
Hello, what? So you send me the police vehicle, yeah?
Open it.
Make you finish your vehicle, eh? Hello, don't make a cock. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, relax yourself, buddy. Show me this you there, buddy. So two female ranks gone with you, so she can't say no male ranks harassing Shannon and the police gone with the vehicle. So she can't also say nobody thief nothing from your vehicle wrong here. Nobody take nothing from your vehicle, nobody in trouble nothing for she. And I gonna go, yes brother, I gonna go to Cove and John just now and do a follow-up here. This is ridiculousness, man. This is ridiculousness. Young mother, you understand? This is ridiculousness. 9 minutes of 10 o'clock in the morning, she done drunk. And I tell her she drunk, this girl drunk like a fish. When she see me, she recognize me, but she hiding her face when she say come back with the camera. Because one time she was cussing up the police. You understand?
So these kind of people have no credibility. And what these people are doing is they're incensing hatred around the movement. They are causing division within their own community. And it is a shame that this Jennifer Ali individual is from the Indian race in Guyana and speaks as though she is representing them. She is not. Let us make this clear. There are many from this race in the community who are for the Justice for Adriana movement. She is a bad seed and clearly has a history of being reckless and feckless in the eyes of the law. I suggest that this individual be sought after for harassment and cyberbullying. But you see, this is not a priority for the Youngs right now. Right now, they need to be focused on the burial, which according to this post will be in 10 days. We need to make sure that this child is laid to rest without controversy, further controversy, and that the family are mentally prepared for the legal battle that is ahead. Because indeed, the pending inquest is far more important. Anyway, take a look at this video.
Okay, so the other day we had the Double Day hotel owner come to TikTok. He jumped onto a live. He was apologising for not being able to come onto a live with Kevin Lorimer because he said that he had been advised by his legal team not to, which obviously they would advise him not to. So I reached out to the account and we had a conversation about Adriana and what happened that day. And I'm going to share those messages with you. Now, I'm just going to start this by saying I don't know if this is definitely the hotel owner or not. There has been some kind of back and forth online whether people believe it's him or not. I personally have no reason to believe it isn't. He created an account to come live with Karen Lorimer and at his last moment chose not to do the live. But I'll show you the conversations we had anyway. So at first I said to him, you had Stefan bring you Adriana and everyone involved will pay. He said, firstly, you're misleading the public. I was never there when Adriana was first missing. When I received the call from my staff, I turned up 30 minutes later. Ask the grandmother. I know about her part. What was she given Adriana? Who was she given Adriana to? You know there are pictures of you by the pool when she went missing, right? At 1:29 p.m. And then he went silent. So I said, now you want to say nothing? Why would you lie about being there if you did nothing wrong? He said, I was wearing purple that entire day. Ask a family member. Also, the family members have pictures of me going into the hotel with what I was wearing, which is really bizarre for the family members to take pictures of him going into his own hotel before Adriana even went missing. I said, who's in the picture then? He said, somebody who came to swim, maybe with other people. I said, why wouldn't you let them search the pool or search the hotel or drain the pool? He said, I can't answer you anymore. You're misleading the public, sorry. I said, you say I'm misleading the public, but when I asked you questions that maybe can correct that perception, you can't answer. So apparently the picture of him, that's definitely him, stood by the pool, is not him. So obviously he has a doppelganger.
So the picture that we're talking about is a picture of the man that can be seen overlooking the pool, standing just by the restroom with a towel over his shoulder. He's wearing a bluish or purplish top And interestingly, he claims he was wearing purple all day. The color may not be so clear in this image, depending on the type of camera that's being used. I'm going to zoom in as much as I can. Take a look. Now, obviously, because it's a very zoomed in picture, the pixelation is not great, right? But I can make out certain things in this image. He has on a patterned pair of shorts. He has on a blue or purple top, and there is clearly a towel over the shoulder. He's holding his phone. Don't know what he's doing. Is he filming? Is he talking to someone? The haircut seems to be low at the side and high up at the top, with a little bit of a fringe coming into the forehead, right? So there's a bit of a peak there coming into the forehead. I'm going to now splice an image of the owner of the hotel beside this picture, and we can make a comparison. Now, indeed, they do have very similar features, a very similar haircut. It's not so clear if there is hair on the chin or if it's a light shave. I am not certain when this photo with him in the khaki colored shirt was actually taken, if it was taken when he was arrested, when he was returned. It looks as though he has handcuffs around his wrists in this photo. Don't ask me about the time frame, because unfortunately that was not made clear by the evidence that I found on Facebook. However, what I'm looking at are the comments that are to do with this man that's standing by the pool with the towel over his shoulder. There's a discrepancy here. Some people think that this is the son of Bola and not Bola himself. They were commenting that it was a son who was standing there with the camera, possibly watching the child for whatever purpose. Actually, this was an old photo. You can tell as I'm recording this in real time. I've managed to locate it. The photo of him in the khaki colored shirt was when he was arrested for the 2012 pool death in 2016. So yes, this is why he is in completely different clothes, etc. But the features, as I said, are very similar. The haircut, very similar. His haircut may have changed since then, but I am just looking at the features, so to speak, and how similar they are to the person that's standing by the pool. Plus the fact that he mentioned he was in purple, and this one is in what looks like a blue or possibly purple shirt, depending on the type of camera. So to make this more a poignant comparison, I went for the most recent video that I have of this man. And I've snapped it from when he was walking around looking at the ruins in his hotel. As you can see, the hairstyle is bang on identical. Down to the curl in the forehead, looking just like him. The pointed chin, clean shaven face, which looks more like the face that's in the blurred image. The eyes and the shape of the eyes, the angle of the nose, the shape of the face, it's dead on identical. And it would be really strange to me if this was a completely different person looking so much alike in this image to the man that we're seeing now in the peach colored shirt. I'm sorry, Bola, but I'm not convinced. I think that this is in fact you and nobody else. He is claiming, based on his discussions with Hayley, that this isn't him. This is some other random person who was there swimming. I find it very hard-pressed to accept this as a truth. Now, interestingly, I have yet to find any other image of this so-called son that looks like the splitting image of his father. So draw your own conclusions from that. Drop your comments below. Let me know. Do you think this is the man himself standing by the pool with the towel over his shoulder? Or is this some lookalike or random person? Or do you believe this is his son? Have you got any evidence of the son's image? Feel free to send it to me. You know that I'm on Facebook. Drop it in my messenger. Anyway, we're going to listen to this nugget from Hayley, the most recent update on the Adriana Younge case. This is the reason why they dislike this lady being involved, because she is opening our eyes to things that we probably never thought about. Anyway, take a listen to this exposure of further corruption, suspicious behavior by one of the doctors who conducted the first autopsy.
Hi guys, so I have permission to talk to you about a certain issue with Adriana. Now, while her family were out in New York, the family managed to contact Dr. Gary Collins, which is one of the guys who did the autopsy. in Guyana. He was one of the specialists brought over from the Mount Sinai Hospital, New York, to do the procedure. And basically, when the family contacted him with questions, I can't tell you a lot of what they talked about because that's a legal issue, but he was very afraid and didn't want to talk on the phone. He was speaking to Adriana's aunt at first and he was terrified. Like, he was saying, no, let me meet you in person. I don't want to have this conversation on the phone. He refused to hand over the autopsy report to the family. And then the aunt put Amicia on the phone and he went mental. He was like, I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to her. It was almost like he couldn't keep his composure with the lies if he had to face Adriana's mother. And he was okay talking to a family member, kind of. But when Amicia came onto the phone, he was just like, I won't talk to her, put the aunt back on the phone, because he literally couldn't cope with probably what he had done. And it's a lot easier to lie if you don't have to deal with the woman who's lost her child. Dr. Gary Collins is at a precipice at the moment where he could lose his whole career depending on what he does next. And, you know, he could come forward and say, you know, I've agreed to an autopsy that's not completely done correctly, or the results aren't correct. But we'll have to see what he does next, because there is a chance that he will be called under oath to explain this autopsy and what it said.
A very strange reaction indeed. And yes, we are looking forward to the moment when these professionals are called under oath for the inquest, because they do need to be further explored. And we would like to know why it is that to date, the autopsy is being withheld from the family. Surely they are entitled to official documents explaining the findings. Why is it that this is being withheld from the family is beyond me. But as legal processes are underway, no doubt these documents will be held as evidence and submitted in court and interrogated heavily, hopefully by objective professionals. So if you have made it to the end of this video, please make sure that you like, share and subscribe to my channel and keep up to date with what is happening with regards to the Adriana Younge's case by hitting that subscribe button and the bell so you are notified whenever I upload another video. We continue to say justice for Adriana Younge. We must get to the truth of what has really taken place with this beautiful child, and we will not relent until this happens. This is your girl, Head Teacher K, and I'm out.